They finally said the quiet part out loud. A top casino CEO just admitted they're kicking out the lowest-end customers, and they don't even care that you know. The very people who filled Vegas casinos for decades are being priced out on purpose. Empty tables, ghost town casinos, and leadership calling it a success. This is the story of how Vegas turned its back on the regulars who built it, and why it's backfiring spectacularly. Let's start with what one executive actually said. In May 2023, Tom Reeg, the CEO of Caesars Entertainment, held a quarterly earnings call. When analysts asked about the company's strategy, he laid it out plain as day. According to Casino.org, Reeg explained that Vegas is bringing in higher-value customers, and when you're already running full, well, you're kicking out the lowest end. Think about that phrase for a second. Kicking out the lowest end. Not attracting better customers. Not creating value for everyone. Kicking out. The CEO of one of Vegas's biggest operators basically admitted they're running a velvet rope strategy, and if you can't afford the new prices, you're not welcome anymore. This wasn't some offhand remark. Reeg doubled down, saying Vegas has been adding reasons for people to come. Formula One, the Raiders, major conventions, all aimed at pulling in wealthier clientele. He even said, "I see no reason that needs to or would stop." Translation, this is the plan, and they're not apologizing. Now think about what that really means. For decades, Vegas sold itself as the city where anyone could walk in off the street and have the time of their life. Remember the old Stardust, the Riviera? These weren't palaces for the rich. They were joints where regular folks could get a $4.99 prime rib, play dollar blackjack, and actually walk away with some cash in their pocket. The whole magic of Vegas was that it didn't matter who you were Monday through Friday. On the weekend, everyone was a player. But Reeg's comments reveal what many of us suspected: that era is over. The corporations have looked at the numbers and decided they'd rather have one whale betting $10,000 a hand than 100 regulars grinding away at $25. Never mind that the 100 regulars also eat at the restaurants, tip the dealers, buy show tickets, and come back year after year. Never mind that they're the ones who actually kept Vegas alive during the lean times. MGM Resorts CEO Bill Hornbuckle echoed the same sentiment in a 2025 investor conference. According to CDC Gaming, when pressed about declining visitor numbers, Hornbuckle said the drop-off was happening at the lower end, the value-oriented folks who go to the Excalibur or Luxor. He acknowledged their high-end properties like Bellagio, Aria, and Cosmopolitan were atmospheric in 2023 and 2024, but admitted they've cooled off. Meanwhile, he basically wrote off budget travelers as collateral damage. Here's what gets me. Hornbuckle specifically called out Excalibur and Luxor, properties that MGM owns and operates. These are the places where families stayed, where retirees on fixed incomes could afford a weekend getaway, where working-class folks saved up all year for their annual Vegas trip. And the CEO just shrugged them off as not worth the trouble. These aren't conspiracy theories. These are direct quotes from the people running the show. So how exactly are they kicking out the middle class? Let's walk through the math, because once you see the numbers, it's impossible to deny what's happening. Remember when you'd book a room for $79 and that was actually what you paid? Those days are dead. According to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, MGM Resorts raised resort fees across all Strip properties in December 2024. Bellagio, Aria, Vdara, and the Cosmopolitan now charge $55 per night before the 13.38% tax. That's over $62 a night just in mandatory fees. Mid-tier properties like MGM Grand and Mandalay Bay hit you with $50 a day. Even budget spots like Luxor and Excalibur are charging $45. According to LasVegasJaunt.com, if you stayed one night at all 90 Vegas hotels charging resort fees, you'd rack up over $3,600 in fees alone, an 11% increase from the previous year. These fees supposedly cover Wi-Fi, gym access, and phone calls. You know, stuff that used to just be included because you're paying for a hotel room. Then there's parking. MGM properties now charge $20 for self-parking on weekdays and $25 on weekends. Valet parking? That'll be $40 flat, according to WorldCasinoDirectory.com. Caesars properties hit you with the same racket, $20 for the first 24 hours if you're just visiting. Let me remind you, free parking used to be one of Vegas's core selling points. You'd drive down from California on a Friday, park for free, gamble all weekend, and head home. Now they want $20 just to park your car so you can come inside and lose money. It's like paying a cover charge to get into a casino. If you actually make it inside, good luck finding a game you can afford. According to VegasAdvantage.com's 2025 survey, 3-2 blackjack on the Central Strip now starts at $25 minimum during slow hours and jumps to $50 or even $100 when it's busy. At Aria and Bellagio, don't be shocked to see $100 minimums on Friday and Saturday nights. Craps? Same story. Strip casinos are running $25 to $50 minimums on weekend evenings. I've seen reports of Resorts World charging $25 across the board, and some Caesars properties hitting $50 on busy nights. Compare that to 2019, when you could find $10 blackjack and $5 craps all over the Strip, even on weekends. The kicker? Those budget-friendly $5 tables haven't disappeared. They've just moved to off-strip locals casinos. The message is clear. If you can't afford the new rates, get off the Strip. Even a simple drink has become a luxury purchase. According to recent TripAdvisor reports and confirmed by Fox News, tourists are now paying $12 to $15 for a beer, $15 to $20 for a basic cocktail, and $25 to $30 for anything halfway decent. One traveler interviewed by Fox News said she paid $14 for a coffee and $30 for a single cocktail. Another paid $20 for 2 coffees. And it's not just the fancy places. We're talking about Starbucks prices at a casino Starbucks. We're talking about $11 for a Coors Light at a video poker bar. These aren't premium craft cocktails or rare wines. These are standard drinks that used to cost half as much just a few years ago. Remember when cocktail waitresses would bring you free drinks while you gambled? Those days aren't completely gone, but they're getting scarce. And when drinks do show up, they're watered down and slow. Walk into any strip casino today and try to flag down a cocktail server. You'll be sitting there for 20 minutes minimum, and when she finally shows up, you better have a player's card in the machine and at least $50 running through it, or she's moving on to the next guy. The whole system has changed. It used to be that casinos understood free drinks were part of the experience, a loss leader that kept you happy, playing, and tipping. Now they've calculated that they can charge you $15 for that same drink and you'll pay it because you're already in the casino and you're thirsty. It's the same captive audience pricing you see at airports and sports stadiums. Comps in general have been gutted. Tight slot payouts, worse table game odds, and Players Club rewards that feel like an insult. You used to be able to earn a free buffet after a few hours of play. Now it takes all day to get a voucher for a discounted sandwich. And speaking of buffets, remember when Vegas had world-class buffets for $15 to $20? The Rio's Carnival World Buffet? The Orleans Spread? Those glory days are gone. Now you're looking at $40 to $50 minimum, and that's at the budget properties. The fancy buffets at places like Wynn and Caesars Bacchanal are pushing $75 to $85 for dinner. All of this might make sense if it was working, but here's the thing, it's not. Vegas is bleeding visitors at an alarming rate, and the casino giants are starting to sweat. According to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, visitor volume has been in free fall throughout 2025. In June alone, Vegas saw nearly 400,000 fewer visitors, an 11.3% drop compared to June 2024, as reported by NPR. May was down 6.5%. March was down 7.8%. For the first half of 2025, Vegas counted 1.5 million fewer tourists than the same period in 2024, a 7.3% slide, according to multiple tourism tracking sites. Even worse, passenger volume at Harry Reid International Airport dropped 9.04% in the first 6 months of 2025 compared to 2024, according to VegasPrimer.com. That's nearly 1.2 million fewer people flying into Vegas. Hotel occupancy on the Strip fell to 81.9% in June, down from 88.3% a year earlier per TheStreet.com's analysis. Revenue per available room, RevPAR, dropped 13.8% year over year. Let me translate that. Casinos raised prices and people stopped coming. Shocking, right? Even gaming revenue has taken a hit on the Strip. In May 2025, Strip gaming win dropped 3.9% to $713.7 million, as reported by the Nevada Gaming Control Board and covered by World Casino Directory. Slot revenue fell 5.4%. And while table games held steady, baccarat revenue plunged 10%. Meanwhile, regional casinos and online gambling platforms are absolutely crushing it. According to the American Gaming Association, online gaming revenue hit $1.78 billion in July 2025, a 20.8% jump from the previous year, as reported by the Daily Herald. The entire U.S. online gambling market was valued at $12.68 billion in 2024 and is projected to grow nearly 10% annually through 2030. Translation: everyday gamblers didn't stop gambling. They just stopped going to Vegas. So where are all the riff-raff spending their money now? 3 places: regional casinos, online platforms, and literally anywhere else. According to state gaming data, regional markets are outperforming Vegas. Laughlin saw a 17% boost in gaming revenue in May 2025. Mesquite was up 9.7%. Even struggling regional markets are holding their own, while the Strip bleeds out. Why? Because locals casinos still offer $5 craps, $10 blackjack, better comps, and here's a wild concept: they actually want middle-class customers. Think about what that means. People are driving to Laughlin instead of Vegas. 20 years ago, that would have been unthinkable. Laughlin was where you went when you couldn't afford Vegas. Now it's where you go when Vegas can't afford you. Same thing with tribal casinos across California, Arizona, and New Mexico. These places figured out what Vegas forgot. Volume matters. A packed casino floor of $10 bettors beats an empty room of $100 tables every single time. Regional casinos also remember what customer service means. They know your name. They comp your room after a few hours of play. They actually want you to come back. Meanwhile, Vegas treats you like you're doing them a favor by showing up to lose money. Then there's online gambling, which has become the biggest threat to Vegas's dominance. As the Daily Herald pointed out, you don't need a plane ticket, hotel room, resort fees, or parking to play online. You just open an app. By July 2025, online gaming revenue was $1.78 billion, and it's growing faster than brick-and-mortar casinos ever did. The article quoted industry insiders saying online platforms offer variety: live dealers, interactive blackjack, themed tournaments, even betting markets that refresh in real time. Vegas still has spectacle, but if you're in Dallas or Boise, why drop $2,000 on a Vegas trip when you can get the same rush from your couch? And here's the thing Vegas doesn't want to admit: online casinos have better odds. They have lower overhead, so they can offer better payback percentages on slots and more favorable rules on table games. Plus, they're competing for your business every single day. If you don't like one site, you switch to another. Vegas casinos, on the other hand, have acted like they have a captive audience, and now they're learning they don't. But here's the most damaging part. A lot of former Vegas regulars have just given up. They're taking vacations elsewhere. They're going to regional destinations. They're staying home and saving money. The Fox News article that interviewed travelers shocked by $14 coffees and $30 cocktails captured it perfectly. One woman from Texas said the costs were crazy. These aren't ultra-rich people complaining about private jet rates. These are middle-class families who used to make Vegas an annual tradition, and now they're walking away. I've heard from dozens of people who say the same thing. Vegas isn't for me anymore. These are folks who used to go 3-4 times a year. They knew every pit boss by name. They had their favorite slot machines, their regular dealers, their go-to restaurants, and now they're done. Not because they don't love Vegas, but because Vegas made it clear it doesn't love them back. Here's where it gets really interesting. Vegas bet everything on attracting high rollers, but even the wealthy aren't filling the void. Hornbuckle admitted in a September 2025 conference that MGM's luxury properties Bellagio, Aria, and Cosmopolitan were off compared to their atmospheric performance in 2023 to 2024. Why? Because even rich people have options. They can gamble in Macau, Monaco, or Singapore. They can stay home and bet millions online. And unlike middle class, regulars who came to Vegas out of loyalty, rich people go wherever the best deal is. The casino giants thought they could replace 100,000 middle-class visitors with 10,000 high rollers. Turns out you can't. The math doesn't work. A $10 blackjack table full of weekend warriors generates more revenue than an empty $100 table. But this isn't just about empty casinos. It's about what Vegas used to represent and what it's lost. Vegas was always the great equalizer. It didn't matter if you were a plumber from Phoenix or a lawyer from LA. You could both sit at the same blackjack table, get the same free drinks, and have the same shot at a big win. That's what made Vegas special. It was a place where working people could escape, blow off steam, and feel like high rollers for a weekend. Now, Vegas is becoming what Monaco and Dubai already are. Playgrounds for the ultra-wealthy. Regular people aren't priced out by accident. They're priced out by design. Rieg said it himself, you're kicking out the lowest end. That's not market forces. That's policy. And economically, this is a disaster waiting to happen. Vegas doesn't just rely on casino revenue, it relies on volume. Restaurants, shops, shows, bars, ride shares, tips for workers, all of that depends on foot traffic. When visitor numbers drop 7 to 11% year over year, entire ecosystems collapse. Workers get fewer shifts. Tips dry up. Small businesses suffer. According to NPR's reporting in August 2025, the LVCVA acknowledged persistent economic uncertainty and weaker consumer confidence as major factors. But let's be real, that's corporate speak for we priced out our core customers and now we're shocked they're not coming. Okay, let's be fair. Not everything in Vegas is doom and gloom. Convention attendance is actually up. In May 2025, Vegas hosted 511,200 convention attendees, a 10.7% increase, according to World Casino Directory. Conventions bring steady, predictable revenue. And they're less price-sensitive than leisure travelers. Some properties are also trying to pivot. Resorts World ran a summer promotion with no resort fees and free parking through September 2025, according to their press release. It was a direct response to historically low occupancy. And guess what? It worked. People came. There's also been investment in infrastructure. The Sphere opened and became an instant cultural landmark. Formula One brought massive international attention. The A's are building a stadium. Major concerts and sporting events continue to draw crowds. But here's the problem. None of that fixes the underlying issue. You can build all the spectacles you want, but if regular people can't afford to show up, those venues will sit half empty. If you're watching this video, You probably fall into one of three camps. You're a former Vegas regular who feels betrayed. You spent decades supporting Vegas, gambling, tipping, staying loyal to your favorite properties, and now you're being told you're not good enough anymore. I get it. That's not paranoia. That's literally what they said. You're still going to Vegas, but noticing it's different. The magic is gone. Comps are weaker. Minimums are higher. Crowds are thinner. You're not imagining it. The data backs you up. You've already moved on. You've found regional casinos, online platforms, or other vacation spots that actually want your business. And honestly, good for you. Vote with your wallet. The bottom line is this. Vegas made a calculated decision to abandon its core customers in pursuit of higher-end clientele. And it's failing. The rich aren't showing up in big enough numbers, and the middle class is gone. Empty casinos don't lie. So here's the big question. Will Vegas course correct, or will they double down until it's too late? Right now, casino executives are still in denial. Hornbuckle said in September 2025 that Vegas isn't dead and pointed to strong weekend occupancy. But weekend occupancy doesn't mean much when weekdays are ghost towns. Reg hasn't walked back his comments about kicking out the lowest end. If anything, Caesars keeps raising prices. But there are cracks forming. Resorts World's no-fee summer promotion shows some operators are willing to adapt. Smaller properties are starting to offer better value. And if visitor declines, the big players may have no choice but to bring back the middle class. The irony? Vegas was built by the working class, cab drivers, construction workers, teachers, retirees. Those are the people who kept the lights on for decades. And now Vegas is learning what happens when you kick those people to the curb. The lights start going out. Tom Reeg said they're kicking out the lowest end. Bill Hornbuckle wrote off value-oriented folks. These aren't misquotes or clickbait headlines. These are the actual words from casino CEOs. And the result? A city that's emptier, quieter, and more expensive than ever. A place that used to welcome everyone now feels like a country club with a velvet rope. The regulars who built Vegas are gone, and they're not coming back. So here's my question for you. What's your Vegas story? Have you been priced out? Are you still going but noticing the changes? Did you switch to regional casinos or online platforms? Drop a comment and share your experience. The more we talk about this, the more pressure these corporations feel to actually listen. And if you found this deep dive valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're not letting Vegas get away with forgetting where it came from, because Vegas didn't get built by billionaires. It got built by us, and they better not forget it.